trying to say is I'm a little better now that you're around. Forgive me if I stumble and shake. There's still a bit more time to take. Open my mouth, try to explain why I find my comfort in the rain. Ooh. Still make mistakes, but now I feel just enough.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to United States Cup 2024. We are here with yet another round of 32 matchup. That's right. We are here once again into the late hours of Sunday for these matchups. We have Carolina versus New Hampshire up right now. Carolina, of course, for those of you that are longtime OWC viewers will know that this team is a mix between South and North Carolina. So this is not a tournament where we split Carolinas up, such as some of the other states. They are mixed together. For example, Virginia and Washington, D.C. also mixed together. There's stateless, Missouri, a few other places. So Carolina kind of fits into the mix there. This is a 8th seed versus 25th seed matchup between these two teams here. Carolina being our 8th seed and New Hampshire being a 25th seeded team this year. Team Carolina comprised of some very well-known, long-standing United States Cup and U.S. tournament players. Captained by Will Cookie, will be joined by Rhythmic RS, Abba, Hey It's Shane, Sketch, and Filipino. Average BWS of the top three there being ranked 368. Then you've got Team New Hampshire, one of our New England representatives this year, and a newer United States Cup team. I believe that... Now, I will double-check United States Cup 2023 just to be 100% sure, but New Hampshire is a fairly new United States Cup team. Yes, they did not play in 2023, so this is the first year that we'll be seeing New Hampshire, I believe, in a very long time in United States Cup coming up here with a Captain Zephyrco, joined by What Skill, I'm going to pronounce it Shade, and Fishy. So a 4-player roster, not taking up the full 6 players. New Hampshire with 4 registrations, so opting in to just take the entire lineup for the team this year. Very smart. We've got everything getting underway in the match right now. I believe we're going to have double time cycle hit as the first warm-up here. They're asking for it with double time to keep it within length for warm-up here. Not too much I can go over here between these two teams in terms of analysis. This is a round of 32, and again, New Hampshire being a team not returning from last year or any other previous statistics, for them. Really hard to tell you how they will perform in this matchup here. We've got some known tournament players and some known US players on the New Hampshire roster, namely players such as Zephyrco. But we do have a very, very well-known roster on the side of Carolina, being with some previous 3-digit World Cup players, as well as just high skill in general. Will Cookie, previous 3-digit World Cup for the United States, joined by Rhythmic RS, a absolute phenomenon for speed as of recent. Abba, again, a face that has appeared somewhat more recently to the tournament scene, but extremely high skill cap, extremely fast, good mechanics player. Carolina just running with a massive mechanics roster this year, as well as, hey, it's Shane, another fairly fast, very well-versed player in that category. We also have Sketch on the side of Carolina making their United States Cup debut. They are a fairly long-standing US player. Not quite as frequent in the tournament scene, but in the solo scene have been around for a little while. Again, a little bit more on the mechanics side. Very good stream-oriented player with Sketch as well. So, you know, you're really looking at a trend here for Carolina, right? High mechanics skill cap. But this is round of 32, right? And that means that we really are focusing on that skill floor, that base, that consistency. That's really what's going to make the difference in these early rounds in the round of 32, especially with most of the maps in this pool sitting around 6 stars. It's pretty straightforward for a lot of our higher ranked experienced players. Just to make the pool a little bit more accessible for these top 32 teams to try and get things all in line here at the start of the tournament. Having a little bit of a struggle with the warm-ups here, so it looks like the teams are deciding to just kind of run through with the match, I believe. Looks like we may be getting cycle hit anyway, though. I'm not sure if we're skipping the other warm-up, but we do have cycle hit looking to be going down right now. Not sure if we're going to play this all the way through. I did see some conversation about potentially just getting on with the match, but it looks like we may end up seeing cycle hit DT here for a warm-up. Gonna not entirely give us an idea of what these players are capable of here. There is absolutely no map even remotely close in this pool to the difficulty of cycle hit or in terms of style. Some fun mods on Will Cookie, running the 3 mod with the hidden easy double time. Will Cookie, certainly not a speed player. Absolutely not what he's known for. Will Cookie, one of the best and usually most consistent hidden players in the US. Very much up there with the greatest of them for US players. So extremely confident for them on the hidden. But we're looking for a big showing up here from the side of New Hampshire. There is going to be a bit of an uphill battle for them. We talk about that a lot in some of these early stage matchups. It's very difficult to kind of find that avenue in, especially between a lot of the high seed team versus low seed team matchups. We've only seen a couple of sweeps this weekend. We had a sweep just earlier between Texas and Kentucky with a 5-0 for Texas. We had a sweep immediately before that with Florida versus Alabama, ending in the lead for Florida. And, of course, both Californias ending with 5-0s on their opponents. So we have had just a few matchups with those not upsets, but 5-0s. And conveniently, every single 5-0 that we have seen in the tournament thus far this weekend has been from our top 4 seeded teams. North California, Texas, Florida, and South California, all of our top 4 sweeping their first round opponents. We do still have yet to see Virginia and Maryland play for 5 and 6. New York, unfortunately, did not sweep their opponent. They won 5-1, and Carolina right now has the opportunity to potentially sweep as well. And if Virginia and Maryland do, that would make New York the only team in the top 8 to not have swept their opponent. So we'll see. What happens? Welcome, Miles, going to be joining me for, I believe, the foreseeable future on the A stream here this evening.
Yeah, I think so. I just got pinged by T1G like, okay, Miles, you want to hop in? And I was like, not sure. Apparently he was talking about another match, but you don't look like you have a co-commentator, so I might just stick around here.
Yeah, we lost to the Canadian tonight. I think iFlame was supposed to be here, and he seems to be a little MIA, so you know what? We're rocking the American duo tonight. This is United States Cup. Who needs Canada?
Hell yes, man. And it looks like we've got an all-American matchup here. Carolina and New Hampshire playing some baseball in the warm-ups, as Americans do.
Oh, baby. It's baseball time. New Hampshire doesn't... I was going to say, New Hampshire doesn't even really have a baseball team. They just have the Red Sox. They're abandoned. They've been abandoned. It's America's pastime for a reason. Hell yeah, it
I mean,
is.
does Carolina even have a baseball team? I don't think they do. Like,
no, they don't.
yeah, no, not Raleigh, not Charlotte. Like,
I mean, Carolina has like, I mean, I don't know. They have the Tar Heels, which are like almost, I feel like MLB level. I don't know. UNC is generally pretty up there for sports.
yeah, they have the Panthers in football.
Panthers?
Very esteemed franchise with David Tepper. They have the Carolina Hurricanes, who are actually a good hockey team.
They're very good.
The Hurricanes are a good hockey team, but the Rangers beat them last year, and I was really happy about that. But
Yeah.
all right, New Hampshire and Carolina. Don't know too much about New Hampshire. I don't think they usually have a team.
Yeah, I just checked. They did not have a team last year, and I'm assuming that means that they haven't had one before, because I have not seen this roster before. I personally haven't ever seen Zephyr play United States Cup, and I feel like I would have known if I had seen them before. Zephyr is the GOAT. But a good matchup right here. I was just mentioning right before you got here that for our top 8 seeded teams this year, so far 4 of those 8 have swept their first round matchups. All of our 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds have gone 5-0. The only team in our top 8 so far to not 5-0 was Team New York, who very evidently showed up unwarm and taquito-less. So they lost a point to Illinois because Drev decided to full combo DT2.
I mean, that is just like, I was so happy watching that. Drev, one of the best 5-digit tournament players of all time, that current day 5 digits did not understand the fear of going into a lobby against him like 6 years ago. He used to just do that every single match on the DTs and the Hard Rocks, and it just looked like time was going back for a second seeing him with the Only FC.
Locked in. He was so ready for that map. You could tell. He was like giddy. This is what we love to see, but otherwise, besides New York, Carolina, Maryland, and Virginia all have yet to play, and all of them technically still have the opportunity to potentially 5-0 their opponents if they play as well as they need to. Now, most of those matchups, again, I think just because they're top 8 matchups, seem to be very doable in terms of their opponents. This match, probably the one that I think I would be most poised to not be a 5-0. Because Carolina, while they do have good players, New Hampshire has some people that can definitely show up for maps here.
And, you know, especially on an early round like this, like, I feel like most teams in this tournament, if they really put in the practice on all their players, are going to have some strong maps on a pool of this star rating. And we see New Hampshire with their first pick go for the DT3, one of the most accessible maps in the pool. This one, it's just a very standard DTA map.
Yes, extremely standard. I love how our referee is using the captain's name for the bands and not the state name. Thank you, Kali, for using what skills ban and pick here. Is what skill even the captain of New Hampshire?
I have no idea, but
They're
maybe
not, it's Zephyr.
Kali is just reminiscing on the days where we called him Great General Yong Yu Song, Great Captain of Southern California.
The general.
The general, he's trying to bestow that honor upon the captains of Carolina and New Hampshire.
Oh boy. Oh no, New Hampshire playing without Zephyr today. That's gonna make things very interesting. I was fully expecting Zephyr to be a massive component of New Hampshire's roster today. Unfortunately, you can't have everyone all the time. And that, unfortunately, for a team like New Hampshire means a heck of a lot more when you only have a 4-player roster to begin with. They don't have those extra players to kind of, have the leeway with, especially with everyone else having 6.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of a
Yeah,
rough
it's a tough restriction to have upon yourself, but, just means that these guys are going to have to go a little bit God mode in order to get some points against a team like Carolina, who over the last few years have been a pretty good team. I think typically you see them end up at around top 12 or top 8 by the end. Looking at players like Rhythmic RS and Will Cookie, just the perennial, insane hidden player of that state.
Yeah. Will Cookie will be big for them on that, but they've got everyone lined up now for this. They certainly have the DT roster to boot as well, especially having Rhythmic RS sitting in here. Admittedly, don't know too much about this New Hampshire roster here, so very excited to see what they're able to put down at the first map here, which is their pick, actually.
Mm-hmm. And, I think it's really typical to see some of these lower-seeded states go for this map first. I feel like we've just seen it in almost every match as the first pick because it's just the most accessible. Every single state is going to have players who can play this type of DT map. And it's one where lower-seeded teams with some skill should be able to get on the board.
Yeah, this is definitely that. I think it was mentioned in an earlier match where a lot of the lower-seeded teams tend to go for a lot of the more basic mechanics picks because it's generally more accessible than some of the gimmick or hard rock. Unfortunately, Shade for New Hampshire going to be finding the first break. Despite that, actually, the score staying pretty close between these two teams because Filipino is sitting down at 95% accuracy and now breaks.
Now 2-2 in terms of the full combos. Fishy and What Skill still holding on up against Sketch and Rhythmic RS. And score lead only 20k on DT, but Fishy is gonna find a break right at the start of the slow part. That is so tragic for New Hampshire. Now Carolina's gonna just run away with this one. Sketch and Rhythmic RS, both very high accuracy. And it's looking like a unfortunate first pick for New Hampshire.
What Skill trying their best to keep this one held down. Unfortunately, they are being nullified by Rhythmic RS right now, understandably. Rhythmic RS, kind of a bit of a speed phenomenon in the US after they popped up extremely consistent, extremely high skill cap. Simply just don't play a lot of tournaments across the board here, but they are doing as well as you'd expect them to on a map like this. DT3 here. Sketch with some good backing at almost 99%. Shade, higher accuracy than that. Unfortunately, just that one combo break. Man, this would be so in favor of New Hampshire if Shade still had that full combo.
But, still within reach, no longer. What Skill finding that drop. I was going to say, this was technically comebackable if the breaks did come in for Carolina, but that break from What Skill, oh my god, is he shaking or was that a cursor dance?
It could be nerves, honestly. First map of the first appearance of your state in United States Cup, that might hit a little hard.
I feel you, man. I feel you, What Skill. That's the first map nerves hit you hard, and Rhythmic RS does find a break near the end, but nonetheless, okay, wait a minute. If What Skill
this would have been possible.
Oh my god, that's so tragic, but nonetheless, point number 1 on the board for Carolina, a break point.
I'm so sad about that. Man, that would have been so cool to see New Hampshire get a point on the board. Man, double S rank for them. Fishy only with slider break. Same thing with What Skill. Oh, that is just something you hate to see. 395,000 score difference between the two teams on here, which unironically is kind of the difference between What Skill FCing and not FCing. I mean, Rhythmic RS, even with a miss, put up 1 million, and Sketch only 1 million there. And you had Filipino basically being matched by Fishy, so you really just needed that extra bit there. Unfortunately, it's hard to be that carry player all the time. It could have been very close, though. I mean, Sketch, or Shade and What Skill coming close to each other. What Skill with that accuracy actually may have been almost enough, though, especially towards the ending.
Tourney nerves. I feel like the two of us could talk for a while about tourney nerves. It's definitely something that happens. I don't play tournaments, so I'm not really immune, says Fishy. Yep, definitely getting in their head a little bit, but You know, that's normal. Early stage up against a tough opponent, first appearance, it happens.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate scenario, but again, I think in the back of our minds you have to see at a certain point. Again, this is round of 32, and this at least is one of our fairly spaced out matches. Now, this is technically the least spaced out because this is 8 versus 25 for a top 8 seed matchup. We've gone through all of the, 1 through 4 matchups so far, and those kind of went the way you'd expect them to. But, a lot of these round of 32 top 8 seeded teams matchups, you really do expect to go pretty heavily in the favor of the teams that are the higher seeded, just because of consistency concerns on here. And, again, you could see from New Hampshire, right? They had players that had the skill to FC that map all the way through, but it's about whether or not you're able to repeat that performance over and over again and having the consistency to show up and just rock that out.
All right, Fishy asking in chat, dude, how do I get rid of Parkinson's? Well, I have a whole section on my user page about this. There's a lot of good things you can try if you're getting really nervous. First thing, they're doing one thing wrong. They're living in a colder climate of the US, but that shouldn't matter because it's summer. But one that I recommend is, if you've ever watched tennis, you know how tennis players like to grunt? You just have to do that during the map, and then all the adrenaline will release through your voice. That's one way to not shake.
I'm gonna do that on open mic in our match next week. I'm just gonna grunt in the middle of maps.
Yeah. I'm getting in that VC. I'm asking Woey to let me in.
Hell yeah. Need that pep talk at the beginning, man. Oh, that's gonna be... Yeah, that is a good one. What was your strategy during 4WC? Just do push-ups before the maps?
Yeah, in 4WC it was push-ups. I used push-ups for a while, but then there was a slightly more illicit method as well.
During
alcohol.
grand finals, yeah.
I don't recommend anybody do that.
Yeah, please do not use the liquor method if you are under the age of 21. Thank you. If you are over the age of 21, go ahead.
Knock yourself out. It's a video game, but
go ahead.
Not at the cost of your team.
Yeah. We do not condone underage drinking here at United States Cup. Now, of age drinking, yeah, go wild.
Now, into the hidden one. Seeing a couple breaks already. What Skill and Fishy both finding some drops, as well as Shade. New Hampshire really not having a great time on this, as the players of Carolina are just going crazy right now on the three-way.
Strong so far. A little bit of rough accuracy for Filipino and Will Cookie right now, especially compared to what I think I would expect from Will Cookie on this type of map. But everyone holding strong. It's another break from What Skill, unfortunately. Shade and Fishy, while they do have combos, certainly are not matching up to the FCs. Filipino breaking, gonna give the New Hampshireites a little bit of an avenue back into this. Unfortunately, with Fishy and Shade trading that up, Fishy doubling down on the breaks is really gonna make this almost impossible. And with Rhythmic RS and Will Cookie still on the full combos, this is going to be quite a big lead for them, as Rhythmic RS breaks on literally nothing.
Unlike the NBA, Carolina really looking to get a big advantage here. If this were the NBA, then it would be the Charlotte Hornets with a lead over the Celtics, but I don't think that's ever going to happen in my life.
Not in the modern era. Not anymore.
Nope. And it's Will Cookie, that hidden behemoth aforementioned. Just so many years being such a consistent hidden player throughout all rounds. Very high skill cap, very high consistency. You could always trust him to get a really good score on a early stage hidden map like this.
Yeah, a bit of a rough team score for New Hampshire here. Looks like they're going to come up short of 1 million score as a team on this one. So a great first pick from Carolina. They've certainly found a weak point for New Hampshire out of all these maps here. They may come pretty close to that mill. Oh, no, not with that miss from Shade and Skill at the ending. They almost got it.
Will Cookie almost got the 1v3, but he missed at the end, and that prevented him from doing so.
We actually had... Now, I'm going to talk about it because I played in it, but the Texas versus Kentucky match earlier actually had 3 1v3 maps in that entire match. So we have certainly seen some of it this weekend. I believe in some of the California matches we... saw something similar as well. Team Texas also put up a 3-way FC on this map.
Yeah, we get it. Texas is really good this year, Chillier.
I'm not I am not biased at all.
Not
in the
biased
slightest.
at all. Definitely not a player on Team Texas.
I am rooting for Team Massachusetts as usual.
As
Who
always.
unfortunately have a really difficult first round matchup. Team Massachusetts has the great honor of playing against Team Maryland in round 1.
Okay, yeah, that's tough luck.
Bat ball and comma gonna do it to them.
But all right, next pick for New Hampshire. They're going with the free mod 3, Satori Third Eyes. This is the anti-mod map. Our ref posted the free mod rules. I believe you just need 2 unique mods, and Easy does not count as a unique mod, right? So
Yes.
you could go Hidden and Flashlight, you could go Hard Rock and Flashlight, or Hard Rock and Hidden, and then your third player can just do whatever.
Yeah, this was the map that a little bit earlier this weekend we saw Utami Hidden Easy SS. So
Flashlight Easy. Flashlight Easy.
Flashlight Easy, yes, even more impressive than what I am trying to convey here in the commentary booth. Will Cookie, unironically, I would not be surprised in the slightest to also see some combination of Hidden Easy, Flashlight, something like that. This is certainly his territory.
Yeah, definitely. Something, I feel like it's almost tradition. Dada always puts in a map like this in the first stage of USC, something that people can actually go Flashlight on, or like any intermediate Easy player will probably have a decent time learning and just getting Easy and a pretty good score on it. I feel like, low-key, Easy probably has the highest FC rate in an early stage on a map like this, because everyone who goes through the effort of like learning this Easy will be like so consistent at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is definitely like the type of memorization thing for Easy, I feel like, just because all these early stage stuff. But we do have a couple practice up maps in here. We also have No Mod 1, which is a big practice diff map as well. So, you know, maybe a couple more opportunities for Carolina to kind of rock out that skill set for a little bit longer here. And this is United States Cup, so double picking is allowed. We are not going to be seeing an Easy in this match. Will Cookie just going to be going in for the hidden Sketch on the Hard Rock. And we have an overmod on Team New Hampshire. I respect the game. Overmod means that they automatically win the map, according to Verderix, our savior.
Yeah, I mean, like, they won it at mod select here, but they really need to hold on to the combos, and Fishy finding an early drop isn't going to help their cause. They still got a lot of map to go. Perhaps a little more comfortable on the approach rate 10.
Yeah, I mean, an early break does not speak confidence for Fishy here, but they are on Hard Rock, which is significantly more difficult on this map than Hidden in terms of overall requirement. But this is an old-style map, so the patterning is not ridiculously complex. Unfortunately, with Whatskill finding a break as well, that is 2 FCs now gone. I would say this is basically 3 FCs to 2 right now. I mean, Fishy is so close in combo to the next FC that it basically doesn't matter. Actually, the accuracy on Fishy is what's doing more damage than the combo break.
Yeah, and all of the scores on Carolina above 99 right now, and as you mentioned, that's making up most of this lead, 200k, and you still have 2 big combos on the side of New Hampshire. It's just really the low AC, 92 on Fishy, and under 98 for everybody else, except Whatskill, just finally getting above 98, just to, never mind.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay. Oh, okay, Stop opening my mouth.
I mean, that's kind of the thing with free mod here, though, right? You need a mod player to match up to whatever the other team is putting up, by the way, and massive props to Will Cookie for actually wiggling that stream right there instead of middling it. But yeah, I mean, New Hampshire needed a hidden player to match up to Will Cookie, which unironically is pretty difficult for a lot of teams in this tournament to find a hidden player that's going to match up to Will Cookie on old-style hidden flow aim. And then Sketch rocking it out with the Hard Rock right now. Fishy and Shade are barely matching up to Sketch 2v1 on the Hard Rock, player for player here. They are just barely in front of Sketch, and another miss from either of them could prevent that from actually being the case by the time this map ends. Actually, yeah, Sketch may actually be able to pull this off by the ending. No, I don't think so. Yeah, just barely not. It's like 20k difference for Sketch there with some really good Hard Rock play.
But still, it's going to be a 1.4 million team win for Carolina there, taking a second break point. And now pick back in their ballpark, taking their second break point of the match. And I wonder what they're going to do to choose their next map.
Yeah, they seem pretty confident on this style of map here. And Carolina with a great team performance there, albeit with some rough accuracy across the board. That is still a 3-way FC for their team, which is quite impressive. Probably going to be one of the highest, if not the highest, free mod 3 score of the weekend, I would imagine. I have not seen a free mod 3 score that matches up to that as a team performance yet. So well done to Carolina for putting that one up there. They're going to be going for the Nomad 2. I honestly thought they would go for the Nomad 1 if they were going to kind of keep on this reading train a bit here, but they're going in instead for Zerla Breakcore, so the bursty speed pick here, maybe just going back into that Rhythmic RS time. Rhythmic has been playing very well today, as expected.
Veteran player like him on an early stage speed pick, just expect him to eat it up. And, you know, this is kind of our prototype, like, low stage speed map, right? It's something like 230 BPM, mostly short bursts, right?
Yeah, this is pretty normal for what would have been considered a Nomad 5 a couple of years ago, you know, for around the 32 especially. Very basic map, very mechanically focused, as you would expect. Most of the focus on the bursts, maybe a little bit of aim on this one, but nothing too crazy. New Hampshire, they're going to need someone to really step up if they want to find an avenue back into this match. Otherwise, this will be over relatively quickly. What skill, Shade and Fishy all looked pretty good on the DT3 earlier. And in terms of skill sets, this is probably one of the closest maps to that overall. So they may have a good time on this. The question is, Carolina probably is going to too. So who's going to find the breaks?
New Hampshire just needs to lock in on this one. Down 2 break points already. They're going to be down match point if they lose this one. You see a new player come in for Carolina. Hey, it's Shane. I think first appearance in USC.
Yeah, I have not seen them thus far in a United States Cup, let alone in this match. Pretty good speed player themselves as well, especially mechanically oriented. New Hampshire, this is almost the point of do or die for them here. I mean, they have their own pick after this, but otherwise, you know, in a best of 9, there's not a whole lot of room for error, and if they lose this map, then there quite literally is no room for error left, so it's very unfortunate to see some early breaks come out from New Hampshire here, evidently already struggling on these kind of breakcore style bursts.
Yeah, and their only full combo left in Fishy. No longer full combo and down at the 89%, so not having a great time on this one. Carolina only like 30 seconds into the map already with a lead of 100k plus, and it's looking dire, I hate to say, for New Hampshire.
Yeah, this is tragic for the newly formulated United States Cup team. They are trying their damnedest right now, but Carolina, again, a very good roster, a very experienced roster, especially on skill cap and consistency across the board here, and they have certainly been showing it with their performances in this match so far. Very impressive early here. Shane going to be finding the first break for their team just before the halfway point in the map. Fortunately for Carolina and unfortunately for New Hampshire, Shade going to be trading that one out almost immediately after. If Rhythmic RS or Sketch find a break, What Skill and Fishy may be able to do something with this, but that 90% act for Fishy is not doing them any favors.
Yeah, I mean, like, even though the combos are kind of there for New Hampshire, they just really needed the accuracy to be up, and that's where Rhythmic RS and Sketch are really outdoing them. And with that break from Fishy, I think unfortunately for them, already down 400k, kind of have to write them out of this pick already. Carolina looks like they're gonna get to match point here.
They are. What Skill found a break right after that as well. What Skill has definitely been the name brand star player for New Hampshire in this match thus far. Unfortunately, especially against these higher seeded teams in the early stages, you kind of need your star player to be FCing like almost every map, I would say. Carolina has certainly had no shortage of that on their team. Unfortunately, New Hampshire just not quite able to meet the mark of their opponents. The bar has been set very high with these scores from Carolina. Shane's struggling a little bit with this introductory map right here, but his teammates having little to no issues. A couple hundreds dropped here and there, but looks like we're going to be seeing a double FC coming out from Carolina into the ending.
Despite the struggles from Shane, it's all good. Rhythmic RS and Sketch, two-way full combo. And it's going to be another million-point victory for Carolina here on their own pick. Now, New Hampshire, one last chance to get on the board. They've got to do it on this pick here. And at the very least, they do get to choose the map. So they've got the whole map pool to contend with. What if they just practiced Nomad 1 and they were saving it for the end?
I honestly believe it. I'm so believing it. New Hampshire's just going to come in clutch right now with the Pracky on Nomad 1. This is going to be sick. I'm so ready.
It's like, so ready. Actually, New Hampshire is just like, you know, the background of the map, you activated my trap beat. They just activated New Hampshire's trap card. Go up 4-0. Now we pick Nomad 1 and we all FC it.
Dude, this is genuinely... I'm ready. Like, this is going to be like a Will Stetson F moment. Okay, maybe not.
Not a Will Stetson F moment. Not a Will Stetson Gwyn moment either.
DT1. We are good on TB, so we will push to TB. You know what? I believe it. What skill? Let's see it. 4 points in a row right now.
That is the attitude you have to have. I mean, you're down 4-0. You think about it, it's just 4 maps. You just have to win 4 maps in a row. Like, crazier things have happened in this tournament.
Yeah, like what's the your opponents have just won 4 maps in a row, so why can't you? Easy for you.
Exactly. And I mean, picking Bad Apple is one way to do it. You looked pretty good on the DT3, so picking DT1, never a bad idea after that.
Yeah.
And it's Toho. It's Toho, so you can't lose.
You cannot lose. There's a little bit more aim heavy than the DT3, removing a couple of those bursts and going more into those like quick snap slider jumps on this. So really the one thing I'm looking out for here is potential slider breaks, but New Hampshire, again, they've been pretty comfortable on some of the faster maps thus far. They found a couple unfortunate breaks on the Nomad 2, which is understandable. Nomad 2 very much more complex than Bad Apple. The breakcore style of mapping and the song really making it just a little bit different than some of these DTs, which are very, very simple in terms of, you know, how they're laid out. But final player for Carolina, I imagine, will be Rhythmic RS here. Played all the speed maps thus far. I see no reason that they would not participate in what could potentially be the final one.
Yeah, probably just waiting for him, maybe check in the editor in case he hasn't played it.
Yeah, I need to editor check my 6-star round of 32 DT maps.
Hey, dude, you never know. It's USC. Dada's pulled some whack-ass shit. Remember, Gamble was in round of 32, and that had like the lowest average score of the entire tournament.
Gamble
in
was
round
wild.
of 32. I just remember that. Dude, that was insane. I just remember when Quan Hitter top scored that map against like Colorado. That was highlight of the tournament.
That was so good though, man. Oh boy. I'm ready. I'm so ready for this. We have I'm just looking at the matches that we have remaining for the rest of the night. A lot of them left. We have 2 matches at 3 UTC. Which one are we streaming? I'm assuming it is marked somewhere. We are streaming both of them. We are streaming both of them. We'll go over that after this match is over. Just wanted to double check. We are good. It is Bad Apple time. We are streaming both, Riley. Do not worry. They will be on the A stream and the B stream.
We at USC are equipped with the dual Twitch channel to make sure that every match gets streamed for the 2nd year in a row.
Oh, true, actually. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, United States Cup last year in 2023, we streamed every single match that was theoretically possible to be streamed. Overlaps, anything. So unless there was like something that went severely wrong, which there wasn't, every single match got streamed. And Carolina is already finding some crazy struggle on this map. This may be the sweep avoided for New Hampshire.
Yeah, I mean, they're still holding on to the three-way. Sketch and Filipino still holding on to decent accuracy, especially up against Fishy, who's had low ac this match, but that drop from Shade is going to throw that back in favor of Carolina really quickly, unfortunately.
Yeah, New Hampshire throwing it back.
Oh my god. Did I say that? Did I just fucking say that, dude?
Throw
Jesus
it back,
Christ.
baby. Let's go, NH.
NH throwing it back, but not apparently. I mean, Fishy and Whatskill still holding on to the FC, but there goes Fishy. And now it's going to go back in favor of Carolina near the halfway point. Sketch finding the slider break, so not done just yet, but they need Rhythmic RS or Filipino to find the drop. Because it's Whatskill and Shade just trying their best to hold on right now, but the lead will eventually go back to Carolina.
And it's Rhythmic RS every time, right? I mean, this is his skill set. These mechanics maps are all Rhythmic RS here, and he's showing it with the accuracy and the consistency. He has not missed on one of these maps yet, and I would be hard-pressed to see him miss right now if he hasn't thus far. Whatskill is going to be able to prevent guaranteed disaster for his team as long as he holds this full combo, but Fishy dropping the combo once again is going to make this very difficult for New Hampshire to get back into unless we see a major break from Carolina right now. Will New Hampshire be able to get a point on the board, or will Carolina become our 5th top 8 team to find a 5-0 sweep in the round of 32? We've got a quarter of Bad Apple left to go. Will New Hampshire's Toho gamble pay off? It's 800 combo on Shade and an FC on Whatskill. It's just the difference of the support for Carolina right now. It's still 50k score difference between the teams. Literally any miss for Carolina could throw this, but they're not finding it, and it's Fishy again. And I think that might be it.
Yeah, unfortunately for New Hampshire, Carolina just holding on to their combos for a little bit too long. They would have needed a drop to happen a few seconds ago. Whatskill and Shade doing everything they can, but unfortunately, I think it's Fishy's low ac. It's going to be losing them this pick, and Fishy is shaking still at the end, but nonetheless, sweep has been achieved for Carolina.
Congratulations, Carolina. Your team performance is certainly towards the higher end, I believe, of the team performances I've seen this weekend, which for the team that is seeded 8 out of the top 8 is quite impressive that they are putting up very similar scores to teams that have even seeded above them in terms of overall average here. So well done to them. They certainly deserve the 5-0 with the way that they played in this match. New Hampshire, some exceptional stuff from Whatskill, Shade, and Fishy today, especially being a brand new team in United States Cup, new to the tournament, and most of them, you know, from what I've seen, slightly newer to tournaments in general. An exceptional performance from them as a team, and I'm very excited to see what they're going to be able to do in the losers bracket when they don't have to play a top 8 team next weekend, because that's always an uphill battle. They're going to be dropping to face the loser of Tennessee versus Georgia, which will be starting in about 20 minutes on the B stream.
And also, New Hampshire, I believe they were missing a player for this match. Weren't they missing Zephyrco? So.
Yes, they were missing Zephyr, yeah.
So if Zephyrco is back for New Hampshire, they could be able to put some hurt on whatever team they end up facing in the losers bracket. So we wish them the best of luck as well. To Carolina, congratulations for winning this match. And I believe we've got another match in 19 minutes as well, right?
We do, actually, yes. So after these teams move on here, we're going to be switching over to our next match. Again, just to let everyone know, we have 2 matches that are coming up at 3 UTC. So be on the lookout on the stream right here with Miles and myself for Virginia versus Puerto Rico. And on the B stream, if you are interested in Tennessee versus Georgia, who will actually, that match will decide the opponent of the 2 teams that we just saw right now. That will be on the B stream, I believe, with, Pigeon and Hubba. Yes. So Pigeon and Hubba Wubba going to be down there on the B stream for that, and you'll want to stick around with Miles and myself for Virginia versus Puerto Rico. Stay here.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll be rocking that out in about 18 minutes. I'm going to shut up so you can all listen to Citadel, because this song's a freaking banger. And we'll see you all in, I'd say probably about 15 minutes from now.
Enough time to get yourself a snack. See you there.